Welcome back to another agent interview. I've got another agent in our coaching program who is doing some amazing things. We were just talking off air, has been able to get 11 listings as a brand new real estate agent since March. I mean, we're talking 3-4 months in the business, 11 listings already. With me to tell his story, Octavio. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, Brandon. It's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it, because I think what you've been able to accomplish in such a small period of time is what everybody wants to know. Like, how do you do it? We want to talk through that. So why don't we'll start at the beginning. How long have you been in real estate? When did you actually get your license?
Yeah, I got my license in March. So I don't know, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So you've been in the business for 5 months.
Mhm.
What had you get in the industry? Like, did you see something? Did you know somebody? How did that happen?
Yeah, my whole life I was just tired of working for someone. First off, I hated that. I
Yeah.
hated the feeling of like having to clock in, all that stuff. And then also just you could work twice as hard as the person next to you and someone else dictates how much they pay you or what you're worth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I wanted to completely have control over, what I put in is what I'm going to get back out. And I knew real estate was a good way to, take that approach. So that's why.
Yeah, love it. I love it. So I always like to find out from people like what they thought real estate was going to be like. And then when they got into it, what do they quickly find out it's actually like? Because there's
Hmm.
so many people that run into this industry thinking it's like very sexy, very easy to make money. Uh, is that what it's like? Or what did you find out quickly what it's actually like?
Yeah, it's you work a lot more hours than you think you will if you want to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like the TV shows where you go and show all these $1 million homes and and just kind of relax or whatever. No, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work that people aren't seeing you make, right? Like all the calls, role play, all this stuff. There's a lot that goes into it for sure. It's not just showing homes and getting money. I
Yeah.
wish.
And I wish too, right? I think you're right. I think like the 5%, sorry, tell everybody that's thinking about getting into the industry, like the 5% you see and what you think a real estate agent does is all a byproduct of the 95% of the work they do behind the scenes that nobody sees. That is the hardest part. So,
Right.
so thank you for that. So let's jump right into it. So you get in the business. How did you start generating leads, or how did you go about building your business? Because here's the reality. I think along those same lines, most people getting in the industry think somehow magically business is just going to come to them. They don't really put a lot of emphasis on, well, how am I actually going to generate business? So how did you do that in the beginning?
Yeah. What's awesome is I'm on a team right now that they give me lists and stuff. So absentee, anything that I ask for, they'll give me. And from there, it was, I had everything I needed to succeed, right? So I just had to put in the work. So making the calls, I was doing a lot of door knocking at first. I don't do as much anymore. Um, but that was it, just making calls. That's, I think a lot of people overcomplicate the business. It really
Yeah.
is just making calls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you 1,000,000%. Um, what would you say to all the new agents out there, people have been in the business for a long time, or people getting into the industry? You've been able to get a lot of business in a short amount of time. We're gonna unpack that in more detail here in just a second. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of people, Octavio, that disagree with you, that say, well, I can be very successful and I don't have to make any calls. I don't have to prospect. I don't have to do the work. I can just maybe hang out, wait for people, post a little bit on social media, and I'll be just fine. For you, if you didn't make calls and you didn't prospect and you didn't treat this like a real business, how much business would you have gotten so far in the first 5 months?
Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
Yep. Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. Why do you believe so many people want to hear that and not do the work and not pick the phone up and not make calls?
I think it's easy to want to take the easy way out, right? I mean, naturally, just us as humans, we aren't, we don't want to feel pain or we don't want to feel, suffering, or we don't want to put in all that work and, when it fail over and over again. Just naturally, that's just how we're wired. But that's what you got to do with anything in life, not just real estate, but anything good in life, you're gonna have to work for it,
You're
100%.
right. and humans are built to take the path of least resistance. And if real estate agents want to make it, they're going to have to accept the fact they got to play offense. This is a sales business. You're going to have to pick up the phone and make calls. So I love it. So how is it that we met in the beginning? And then let's unpack what your day looks like. But how did we end up working together?
Yeah, no, it was, so I got my license in March. I started just kind of watching, you're about to get your license, you Google or, YouTube, real estate tips or whatever, this, that. And I've seen, tons of different people give tips, whatever. But as soon as I watched your first video, I really just connected with it. Just your approach, value first. Here's the thing, when I first started, I was trying all the other scripts and I hated the feeling of like being annoying or like, pressuring people or bugging them. You know what I mean? And your approach was something that I could really latch onto because I'm genuinely just trying to help people. And that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Right. So as soon as I got my license, I already knew I wanted you to be my coach. So then March, set up the call, talked to Colton, and yeah, rest is history. So
I love it. All right. So let's get into the nuts and bolts. Can you walk us through like a typical day? We just lost your video.
Sorry, someone give me a call. There we go.
That's how it works. Walk us through like your typical day, who you're calling, what lead sources you're working, how much prospecting you're doing. Just kind of, let's just go through the start of the day and then we'll work towards the middle and then we'll get into the end.
Yeah. My day always begins the night before, every single day. So my mentor kind of helped me with this, but we call it like golden hour.
Yeah.
So I take like an hour and a half before I go to bed. After I say goodbye to my family, whatever, good night, all that. And I set myself up for success the next day. So, I'll look at my dashboard, my CC or whatever. I'll look at how many contacts I hit, did I get any appointments, combos, all that stuff. So I know what I need to do in the next day. Because my goals for me are non-negotiable. I have to get 600 combos a month, no matter what. So I want to make sure I'm tracking it every day. So I hit that. So that's the first
600 calls or 600 contacts?
600 contacts a month.
Yeah. Sorry. Got it.
Yeah. And then also I do a lot of, I didn't do this before, but I do cold showers now because you recommended it.
Yeah.
And those have been awesome. Those have been awesome. I'll do like breath work in there too.
Yep.
And then also something as easy as just getting my clothes picked out for the next day.
Yep.
Because I think in the morning I don't function all that well. That's just another thing I don't have to worry about. So that's the first thing.
Well, the thing there is let's talk about the value there. Starting tomorrow today, right? It's a key thing in high performance because what we don't want to do is we don't want to suck energy the next day, like on meaningless things. Like we want to prepare the next day today so that the next day we can have all of our energy for what's about to come, which is lead generation, prospecting, building the business, which takes the most amount of energy. This is where we get the most amount of results from like the 20% of that effort. So you get through the morning. Tell me what happens next.
Wake up. I'll go on a run. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat till around like 12. I do like intermittent fasting.
Me too. Beautiful. Love it.
Yeah. And then, so I'll get to the office and I've got some people I role play with. So we got to be there at 7:30, role play until like 8:10ish. I can't make calls without role playing. There's no way. So
it's like playing a sport without warming up, right? It's like kind of impossible.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, every day is the same thing. So 8 to 12 is prospecting, or 8-10, whatever. 3 90-minute call blocks. First call block, I hit all the new FSBOs. There's usually like 10 to 15 in my area.
Yeah.
And then I'll go straight to circle prospecting. Second call block is all absentees. I love absentees. Especially in this market. Absentees are awesome.
They're the best.
And then third call block is all follow-up. So
it's great, man. You're very fortunate to be on a great team. I don't know what company are you with?
Yeah, the Utah Life real estate group, and we're under Real, the brokerage. Yeah.
What company? What brokerage?
Real.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
So you'll have to introduce me to your team leader one time because he or she sounds like a great leader, and you guys have a great structure. It's a beautiful thing. So all right, so you're calling for sale by owners. We're circle prospecting. We're calling absentee owners. You're prospecting, like I always recommend, 3 90-minute blocks, right? Which is great. Are you doing 3 45-minute blocks or 90-minute blocks?
3 90-minute, yeah.
3 90-minute blocks. You're putting in the work. You're putting in the effort. how many conversations are you having in the morning before noon every day on average?
Yeah. On average, anywhere from, 15 to 20, which is pretty good. On good days, I'll get 30,
Yep.
35 before, you know what I mean? And the big thing is if I don't hit because it's 30 every day, that's what I got to hit no matter what. So if I don't
30
hit it in
contacts,
those first,
right?
yep.
Yep.
If I don't hit it, I got to make it, another call block or something later that day to hit it.
Perfect.
100%.
Now, with making 30 contacts, how many, not appointments, how many leads will you generate on average from those 30 conversations?
Yeah. Honestly, FSBOs, it's usually a higher rate for sure. Yeah. Absentees, sort of prospecting, it could be anywhere from 50, 60%, which is still
phenomenal.
Pretty good to me. Yeah.
Wait, so hold on. So are you getting 10 or 15 leads a day that you're putting into your CRM and following up with?
Yeah. Tons of emails. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Now, let me stop here because everybody watching, I need them to realize what you just said. Here's why, everyone, we prospect versus buying leads. If you're going to buy leads from Zillow and they want $50, $75, $100 per lead, these people don't know you're calling. They have no relationship with you. They have no respect for you. You got to prospect. You got to pick up the phone and call them anyways. You're getting 10 or 15 of those a day through hard work, right? You're not buying leads. You actually had a personal conversation with them. And through that conversation, the byproduct of them generated a higher quality lead because you had a great conversation where the prospect agreed for you to follow up with them, correct?
Yep. Yeah. And you don't have to pay all that money.
So, and you don't have to pay all the money. So you have a higher quality lead. You actually had a personal conversation. You made a business decision to say this was a lead or this is not a lead, and it was free. And so anyways, so it's just a beautiful thing. So you're getting a lot of people adding to your database, which is going to pay off for you long-term. You're building a massive pipeline, massive database. So that's phenomenal. So that brings you up till noon. What do you do at noon? Do you break for lunch? What does that look like?
Yeah. So usually I'll do lunch. Sometimes we have team meetings. I'll go to, team meeting or whatever. And then from there, I've got my rest of the day just booked out for appointments. I have to get at least one appointment a day, whether it's a preview or, a listing appointment. I work with some buyers too. So buyer appointment, whatever. I try to book that out with anything like that.
So is your team focused primarily, it sounds like, on prospecting for listings? You guys are a prospecting based team for listings.
Yeah. So I love my team lead because she's a rock star. She definitely keeps an eye on the market, and as soon as we noticed it was a good time for listings, we shifted our focus to that. We're still working on buyers, whatever, but, doing a lot more trainings. Our focus is on listings. Now there's kind of a slight little shift again. So we're kind of, 50-50 a little bit. But.
Yeah. Are you guys doing any buyer lead generation, or are the buyers you're getting from the listings you have?
Yeah. Buyer lead. Yeah. So we have the website or whatever that they, so we get all of our buyer leads from there.
What do you guys use? Boomtown, or what are you guys using?
Yeah. Boomtown.
Yeah.
And then we use Mojo Dialer.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Awesome. All right, cool. So, so you take a break at noon, and your appointments you're getting every day. What happens if you have a client or a prospect that says, hey, I want to meet, at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? Like, what is your position on that as a real estate salesperson? What is your team's position on how to handle that?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's different, but, for me, it's 8 to 12 is my prospecting time, no matter what. Right. And
love it.
I think it's easy for people to let, their clients dictate their schedule. Like, no, you're the professional. You got to dictate your schedule. So I never even offer morning appointments anymore or showings or anything. It's all got to be after lunch.
And I mean, again, you've been in the business for 5 months. You've been able to adhere to the schedule where there's veterans 20 years in the business saying, oh, you can't follow a schedule as a real estate agent. I mean, you're proving that to be completely false, right? And the thing is, it's like making a decision of like, this is my schedule. This schedule is going to be what gets me to the success that I want. And it's like, this is when I can meet, it's like, you don't tell the doctor or the lawyer what time you're meeting. It's here's what my schedule looks like, and you do it. And prospecting should be an appointment on the calendar, and it's the most important appointment throughout the day. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I love it. So your goal is 30 contacts a day, one appointment a day. Let's talk about, so in the afternoon, you're going on preview appointments, buyer consultations, showing appointments, listing appointments, inspections. All of that is in the afternoon after what, 1 or 2 o'clock?
Yeah, after one. Yeah, everything after one for sure.
Yeah, great. So walk us through kind of your appointment strategy as it relates to listings. Like, walk us through what you're doing on previews and what you've been able to do to get yourself 11 listings in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, the big thing is I just do what you're teaching us. It's straight gold. Zillow ad review, the CMA presentation, Valley prop, all that stuff. I go through that. I think the biggest thing for me is, even as a new agent, I don't come off as like desperate, or like I really need this listing or whatever. I try to stay calm and just play the long game, and just really feel out the prospect when I'm in there. And the big thing too that changed everything for me was how you said you want the prospect to walk us through their home. Because I think I've always thought it's so weird to tell them, hey, sit here, let me walk through it.
I know.
Well, you know what I mean? Because that's my time where I really just build a connection with them.
That's right.
And so that kind of, breaks the ice a little bit, get them laughing, whatever. So by the time that we sit down, we can have, these conversations a little bit deeper than maybe we might have.
It's great advice. And here's the thing I think people are missing about the preview appointment strategy that I think that you really get is that is really designed to have, just kind of like you were alluding to, it's really designed to have that deeper conversation with the homeowner that a lot of times we're unable to have over the phone because the prospect is getting blown up on the phone by so many agents. And so that's the real value of the preview appointment that so many agents miss, where they want to downplay the preview appointment. Like, why would you go to an unqualified appointment? Well, it's because what you find out on that appointment is the gold. Like, that's where you find out about the listing opportunity that you thought was not a listing opportunity over the phone. Would you agree with that? And if you do, can you kind of give us your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's a lot easier to be mean or whatever over the phone. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, just like what you were saying, when you're in person face-to-face, it completely changes everything. And, out of the agents that make those calls, how many of those are going on a preview appointment? And out of those that do go on the preview appointment, how many are just pressuring them to sign the listing? And when they don't get the signature, they just leave and stop following up with them. I'd venture to say a high percentage,
A very high
I'm
percentage.
going in. Oh yeah, 100%. So I'm going in with that mindset, knowing, what, from the start, I was willing to do whatever it takes, drive an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to a preview appointment. I don't care, because it's worth it to me. Even if I, don't get the listing, it's still face-to-face. It's still, what's the word, like just repetitions that I'm getting, talking
it's
to
an
people.
Opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to learn. It's just, there's a lot of things you can't measure on a spreadsheet that provides a lot of value.
Yeah, 100%.
So, all right. So that's beautiful. Let me ask you just real quick, kind of a little off topic, but like, what does your team leader think of this? Like, is she like, oh my gosh, like I've never had an agent get so many listings so fast? Does she support the work that you and I do together?
Yeah, she does, which is awesome. I taught a little class just about, how we go about making calls and all that. Yeah,
awesome.
So it's the best situation I could have ever been in, for sure.
Phenomenal.
My mentor's on the program now too. Jace, Axel, they're all, jumping in. So no, it's been great for sure.
I really want to, we should spend some time. I'd love to jump on a Zoom with me, you, and your team leader, just to open up the lines of communication so we can help, support your team and help you guys accomplish your goals. I would love to set that up. So
that'd be awesome.
We should
call her right
absolutely
after this.
All right. So let's get on maybe a Facebook message as a group and let's set that up.
Let's do it. All
right. So tell us about the follow-up, because here's my belief, and this has been my experience, that the commissions I earn as a real estate agent, 80% of the money that I make comes through following up with people over time, building a database, building a pipeline. Rarely do I make money talking or meeting with somebody one time. Has that been your experience in your first 5 months?
Yeah, I haven't had a single home run, first call, first appointment, listing signed like ever. Yeah, it's all been through follow-up, especially with absentees. It's a lot of follow-up FISBOs, just building that relationship for sure. So yeah, follow up.
100%. So tell us, what are you doing to follow up? What does your system look like? What is your process that you follow?
Yeah. I'm very grateful for Boomtown. First
Yeah.
off, I can't imagine, not having something like that. But yeah. So after I meet with them, I'll send them the thank you, the handwritten card, um, I'll eat the day before, so it gets there the day after or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
And then depending, I guess, on when I meet them, it depends. But I always find out if they're having an open house, or they're saying, oh, we've got some showings over the weekend, whatever. So if they have like an open house on Saturday, I'll call them, maybe Sunday morning. Hey, how'd the open house go? Whatever. I always try to call them at least 3 times a week, send texts. A big thing I've been doing now is I like to send a video message before I even meet with them. Like,
Yep.
hey, it was great talking to you on the phone. And just casual, you know what I mean? Just like, I'm
Absolutely
going to my car or whatever, just, hey, I'm really excited. It was great to talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow at blah, blah, blah.
love it.
Just to make it a bit more personal, I think has been awesome. But
Yeah. The video introduction texts have been like literally like just a huge impact in lead conversion, because it really sets you apart from all your competitors. Most people aren't doing it. And I like the authenticity of the simple iPhone in the car. Hey, Brandon here. Great talking with you this morning. Really looking forward to meeting you and seeing your house tomorrow. I think it goes a long way with people for sure. So with this, I don't know if your team leaders told you, but it's not normal for brand new agents to have the level of success that you're having so fast. It's something you should be very proud of.
Thank you.
What does your vision or goal look like moving forward? Like in your first 12 months, right? So you're almost halfway through your first 12 months in this business. What do you want to accomplish for the rest of maybe the year? And then what does the vision for you look like in the future for your career?
Yeah. We got big goals for sure. It was funny because I knew this team was the one for me, because when I came in, they asked me how much I wanted to make. I said 60K. And they were like, what are you doing? Like, no, you know what I mean? So I bumped it up to 100K.
Good.
And I just hit my halfway point with the deal I closed on Monday, it's crazy to me. I've never made this much money in my life. So I was a waiter before this. So it's
sure.
Yeah. So it's insane. But I want to make 100K my first year, the classic 100K.
And you're pacing for that, right?
Yeah. I'm pacing for that, which is awesome.
And how does your wife feel about that?
It's crazy, especially with, like I said, the baby and all that stuff coming. It's been absolutely insane. We wouldn't have been able to have a baby without this,
Exactly. I'm so happy for you, man. So 100K first year. And then have you thought any more past that long term?
Yeah. I eventually do want to, my team offers like, a little expansion team, stuff like that. If you get to that point. So I want to do something like that for sure. And, maybe run my own team or something.
That's
definitely big. Yeah.
Good.
And
I love,
thank you. Yeah. And I love coaching too. I would love to, I love helping, my fellow team members and stuff. I'd love to do that one day for sure.
Yeah.
Just
I love
give
it.
back.
Maybe bring you on the team as a coach for us one day.
I'm there. Just tell me when.
That's great. So let me ask you this. I want to end with like you giving some advice to the agent who's watching this, who says, man, 11 listings in your first 5 months. I've never taken 11 listings in a year before. I'm brand new. I don't know what I'm doing. What kind of advice would you give to somebody watching this that may really impact them, because they're like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to prospect. What advice would you give to that person?
Yeah. I think the big thing here is you said that would really impact them, right? Because I can talk about getting a coach. I can talk about making calls, doing this. Everyone knows that helps you. Everyone knows you have to do that. So I'm going to just, go about this. Like, I'm just be truthful. Sometimes the truth hurts, right?
That's right.
But I think it's really easy to, maybe watch this video or, watch other of those awesome agents that you interview and immediately say, oh, well, they're lucky, or, oh, well, they're in a better market than me, or, oh, this or that.
Yeah.
It's easy to make excuses, right? What you really have to do is, take a step back and ask yourself, are you prospecting? It doesn't have to be 3 90-minute call blocks a day, whatever you want to do. Are you putting in the work? Are you prospecting? Are you role playing? Are you memorizing your scripts? If you're doing all that stuff, okay, great. Are you going on all these appointments? What are these appointments like? Because for me, the biggest thing was I failed over and over again when I first started. I still fail to this day. I'll go on a listing. I won't sign it. I'll make a call, I'll stutter, whatever. And the big thing here is what you do when you fail, right? Because in my eyes, failure is one of the most powerful tools anyone could ever have. And I hate failing. I hate that taste of just, I'm so pissed off every time I don't get a listing appointment or something, to the point where if I don't sign a listing, I'll go home, I'll run back through that appointment in my head. Maybe I got this objection that I stuttered, or I lost momentum, whatever. I'll role play that objection for now. Maybe I don't know, I didn't connect with them on a way that I should have. I'll write down, I'll figure out what happened. You kind of just have to be almost obsessed with wanting to succeed, because I'm sure everyone here watching has, all these awesome goals. No one watching this wants to be just average, right? But you have to be willing to put in that work to get to where you want to be. So
great advice. And I think what you're explaining is like the learning is in the doing, people. This is the value of failure. I think the word failure has the wrong meaning sometimes. And what you're saying is, when you go on, or when you have these experiences and things don't go the way that you want, the value is in the growth. And that is a byproduct of the success you're having. Success has come as a byproduct of the failure, of the experience, of the learning. Without that, you couldn't have the success. Like, you can't skip. Yeah. Although we want to jump over doing the work. We want to jump over the failures, the hard times, the rejection, all that. You can't get to the success. There's no bridge over failure, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. You have to almost want to fail. You know what I mean?
You have to embrace it. So like, one of the things I talk about all the time is like, seek out and embrace rejection, because the more rejection you get, the more money you will make, period. And so you have to love, that's why I love the book, Go for No. It's like celebrating rejection, because that's how we do really well in sales, right? Yeah. It's the contact sport. It's doing the work. It's picking up the phone, making contacts, making calls, going on appointments. And the more someone can do that, the law of averages happens. We go on 100 appointments, and you wake up and you say, holy crap, I just sold 40 of those bad boys. That yielded $400,000. It's like, wow. So that's great advice, man. So listen, I want to thank you so much. I'm so excited because, again, you're just getting started. I mean, you're just scratching the surface of what you're possible in this industry. So thank you for pouring back into the industry. You're already coaching other people through this interview. So I really appreciate it, man. We'll do this again, maybe at the end of your first year. And I'm looking forward to doing a lot more work with you in the future.
Let's do it. Thank you, Brandon. Really appreciate you.
You got it, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
All righty. Thank you.
Take care.